Hello, my friends. Welcome to our Wednesday Q&A session with me, Jill Ortiz, in my empowered fitness community for women over 40, looking to get energized, confident, and strong. I came a little early today because every 4 Wednesdays, our pesticide guy, Marcus, comes in the middle of my broadcast, and my husband warned me that Marcus is coming today and that my husband wasn't going to be home, and so I didn't want to have to get up and go answer the door and have the dogs bark in the middle of our broadcast here, so I started a little bit early. But if you come at noon Eastern, then it'll be here for you at our normally scheduled time, and you can come back here every single Wednesday because I'm always here for our Wednesday Q&A sessions where you can learn all the answers to your burning questions. If you have any questions, you're welcome to drop them in the chat below, whether you're on live or come later. And you can always email me if you're watching on YouTube, or you can comment on YouTube as well. And so what we do in these sessions is I take a look at some questions from the ladies who have just joined our group here, and answer those questions and talk about some hot topics like weight loss and hormones and reasons why you're not losing weight. And so hopefully you'll get some great information today that you can take forward. And I also include the link to my calendar. If you'd like to schedule a call with me and do a private chat with me, that's a great opportunity for you to get your specific questions answered just privately between you and I, for us to figure out what's holding you back from your goals and devise a plan of action that will get you straight to them. So I'm glad to have you here today. So one interaction that I wanted to actually start with was I got a question this morning from one of my amazing clients, Peggy Davis, who is in my current challenge, my Fit and Fast 2.0 challenge. She was brand new to me. We had a call. She signed up for a call and wanted to figure out what was going on with herself. And at the end of that call, we decided that the time was right, that she was going to join my Fit and Fast 2.0 challenge. And we are now midway through week 3 out of 4 weeks. And she messaged me because I had asked pretty much everybody in the group yesterday how they were doing, and especially Peggy. On Monday, she won a $25 Amazon gift card. I know she ordered some 12-pound weights to continue pushing herself. And so Peggy earned that for being really consistent and showing up every day and sharing her progress. And so congrats to Peggy. But Peggy messaged me this morning. She says, hi, I just wanted to ask you, what should I do? Because I'm seeing results in my body. I lost 2.5 pounds the first week, and then the next week I lost 1 more pound within the first few days. And now we're 3 days into week 3. She says, the scale has not moved. What am I doing wrong? Well, first of all, Peggy's lost 3.5 pounds in just a matter of a couple weeks. And so I'm saying to myself, why does she think she's doing anything wrong? She's showing up and she's doing all the right things, and she won a $25 gift card. So I wrote back to Peggy. I said, you aren't doing anything wrong other than thinking that this is just a weight loss challenge. I said, why don't you start by listing all of your goals below and set up a call with me to discuss what we're going to do after the challenge to continue seeing results. And so then Peggy wrote back, her goals for the challenge were weight loss, to become fit and toned, to gain knowledge of eating better, to achieve the scale not consistently rising. And so guess what? Peggy has achieved all of her goals already, and we're only 3.5 weeks into her journey. Can I tell you that my journey so far has been 10 years? 10 years since I started this. January, I think it was the 15th of 2015. So I've been doing this for 10 years, and Peggy is 3 weeks in, and she has achieved all these amazing goals. And she's thinking that something's wrong, right? So that's part of it, is a mindset, right? And so I wrote back to her, I said, well, there's your answer. You're moving towards all of your goals, and will continue to do so in different ways at different times. But as long as you don't quit, you'll only get better. I said, more energized, more confident, healthier, and stronger. And I said, and we'll continue to build this toolbox, right? So she's got a brand new way of eating that she's learned. She's gotten a brand new way of exercising. She's got so many tips and tricks on all different things, all different facets. And she's got a great coach to support her. And so I told her, we'll just continue to add tools to the box, and together it'll become very clear as to how to get results, what results look like, and we'll continue to raise the bar. And I told her I look forward to continuing to do this along with her. So she says, I'm losing inches. I do the measurements weekly, and I think my hips have also lost 2.5 inches. So I'm super proud of that. She says, I know I'm constantly gaining more knowledge, and my plan was to continue this even after the 4 weeks are over because of what I'm getting out of it. So that's actually a good conversation, right? Sometimes we just need a little bit of cheerleading from our coach, a little support, a little accountability, and somebody to help us see things a little bit differently. Because I will always encourage anybody who thinks that the scale's not moving fast enough, that it's not all about the scale. Because number one, we can't lose pounds after pounds forever. The body adjusts, and the body is not going to let you shrivel up and become a nothing, right? And so we're always going to be skin and bones and fat and organs and all the things and water that make up our body. But what our goal is for most of us is not weight loss, but fat loss, right? We want to have less fat. We don't want the jiggle. We want to feel toned. We want energy. We want that strength. We want to know that we're healthy. And so that's really what's most important. So I love that Peggy's also doing her measurements and measuring the inches, because what that would know is, like, I've had times in my journey where I didn't lose any weight, let's say like in 90 days, but my inches went down. What that means is I have lost fat and I've gained muscle. So I would prefer to have the scale go up if my inches went down, if my clothes fit better. And so that's why we can't always just look at the scale, okay? So that's just a little something that I wanted to share with you. Let's go to some of you guys who are not yet my clients, but I hope to work with soon. Let's go just straight across this row I have here of what's holding everybody back from achieving their goals, because I think we need to attack some of these things and talk about them, okay? Some of them you just need a coach to ensure you as to what to do or help you, but let's go right across. So we've got Linda. When I asked what's holding you back from achieving success in your fitness and nutrition, she says lack of believing I can actually do it. So I have this little picture in mind, and it's about belief and motivation and action, right? So if we have no belief that we can achieve something, we are not going to feel motivated to do anything, right? But if we have belief in ourselves, and what I believe is important is belief in yourself, that you can do hard things. And that belief grows when you start to take on challenges, right? And so I had very little belief in myself when I was younger. I was very shy. And I came home from my sophomore year of high school one day. I was the shyest child in the world who would not even renew library books on my own. I would not order my meal at a restaurant. My little sister had to do it, and I would never pick up the phone. I would make my sister do that too, or somebody else. I just would never do it. I just had so much fear about myself. I had no, self-confidence or belief. And I came home from this day from school, and I went to my parents and I said, I want to study abroad in South America. And they were like, okay, you? And I said, yeah. And that experience was incredibly hard. I studied abroad for 6 months in a Spanish-speaking country with very different customs and with a host family, and it was extremely challenging for me, but it helped me grow, and it helped me continue to take on more challenges. And so I continue to do that. You know where I studied abroad in college? China. So that was even harder. Chinese is very hard language. And so I think that staring fear in the face and taking action and taking on challenges, it helps you grow into the person who is willing to put yourself out there. So when we have belief in ourselves, that gives us a higher sense of motivation to do something about it, right? And then when we can increase our motivation, then we start to say, okay, well, I'm ready to do this. Let's start taking action. And so when you are taking action, then you start getting results. And guess what results do? They instill belief. And so it's a cycle. It's like a box. Let's call it a box, because there's these 4 points, right? So you're going to start with belief in yourself. And when you have belief, you have motivation. And when you have motivation, you take action. And when you take action, you get results. And when you get results, you have belief. And that becomes stronger. And you think about, like, if you're coloring a box, you're sitting there, you could just sit here and color a box with me. And at first it starts as these like little 4 points and they're not even connected. And then it becomes this box with a thin line. And the more you draw over that box and over that box, the darker it gets, the thicker it gets, the stronger it gets, right? See my little box? Stronger, right? And so sometimes you need, let me just get this off of my, it's on the buzzer thing. Sometimes you need somebody else to help you with that belief. There we go. Sometimes you need tools, right? Education, knowledge, and a plan of action. And so all these things will help you. So I would say to Linda, who's struggling with believing she can do what she needs to do, let's hop on a call. And I promise you, I can instill some belief in yourself, and that'll get you motivated and come up with a plan of action. And as soon as you start taking action, I promise you, you will get results and everything will just get better. Okay? All right. Doreen says what's holding her back is not knowing where to begin. It's right here, Doreen. You've got 2 ways to begin with me right here. Number 1 is watching this. Number 2, go back and watch the Motivation Monday video that I did 2 days ago. And then number 3 is to either set up a call with me and we can discuss what's going on with you. They're 45 minutes, they're free, and you and I can get to know each other and we can discuss, where we should take things and what's going on and what you need to start with, and we can come up with a customized plan. Or if you want a small challenge from me that you don't have to interact with me, but you can have some tools from me, and if it applies, then I would say sign up for my 5-day Menopause Makeover. In that, you're going to get 5 workouts with me. You're going to get 5 mastery lessons on menopause that will absolutely change your life. And you'll get a lot of messages from me back and forth, and you can always ask questions. And you'll also have the opportunity to set up a call with me either during or towards the end of that Menopause Makeover experience. So ultimately, we're making these plans for forever change. You don't have to do the call, but I do recommend it because it makes everything better. And so I would start in one of those 2 places, and I've included the links to both of those for you here. I think the worst thing you can do is nothing, right? Don't take any action and keep doing the same things and getting the same results and get nowhere and feel lack of confidence. So you got to take action, right? Action is rewarded. Amy says nutrition is holding her back. So Amy, we got to start learning. We have to make sure if somebody tells me nutrition is holding them back, my first question is generally, are you following a nutrition framework or a system or a program? And if they say no, I say, well, there you go. That's your one and only problem, is you don't know if you're doing the right thing or the wrong thing, or how to measure how far off you are from where you should be. And that's never going to get you results. That's like hopping in the car and going to somewhere that you've never been, where you don't know where it is and you have no address and you don't have Google Maps on. And you got to turn Google Maps on and plug the address in, and that will take you straight to your goal, your destination, and it will take you there, and it'll tell you how much time it's going to take. And it will tell you what the roadblocks are on the way there and how to get around them. Okay? So that's what we want, is we want a clear path. And so the way I do nutrition, and obviously my big belief in nutrition, is having framework, and then I teach 5 different frameworks because I believe everybody's different. Our brains work different. We have different priorities. Some people like to have micromanage their food. Other people don't want to feel like they're on a diet, right? And so we have different ways to do it. And some of us have a little bit of ADHD and we need to change things up often. And so we need multiple tools for nutrition. And there's always going to be different tools and different ways to do things and ways to manipulate those tools and frameworks based on what your goals are. And so it's really important to have that knowledge. And so I would say for Amy, let's do that call together so we can figure out what the best plan of action is for you. I also have a nutrition coaching only package. If you just need nutrition help, it's jillortizfitness.com/nutrition. That's easy enough for you to plug in. And you'll see a package for nutrition coaching. And you'll also see all 5 of my frameworks listed and explained there. All right. So that's a good place to start. Okay. Chrissy says perimenopause is holding her back. So Chrissy, we need to start with education, right? Education on what's going on and then a plan of action to see it through. And guess what? That's my specialty. I've done a 16-hour course on advanced metabolism and female hormones. And so I know exactly what it takes, which is really exciting when you finally know and you can teach others. And so no more banging the head against the wall. Let's just get you the tools and the knowledge that you need and start implementing them. And then guess what? You're going to start building belief and you're going to start feeling more motivated and you're going to start taking more action and you're going to start getting more results. And it's going to get better and better, okay? And it's going to help you with your goal to lose weight. All right, Carmela says what's holding her back is she loves to cook and bake. I love to cook too. And while I do love to bake, you know what one of my favorite things to bake is cinnamon rolls. Whether we do it on Christmas with the Pillsbury pre-made ones and I just pull them apart and throw them on the cookie sheet, or making them from scratch, which is something that I did at camp. I went to an arts day camp when I was younger. I hated jumping in pools and because it was cold and it shocked my system and I'm allergic to cold and so I would get hives. Now I get migraines if I don't manage temperatures. But I wanted a camp that did not have a pool because I didn't want to have to do like instructive swim and free swim. And so I went to an arts camp, and at this arts camp I took cooking class because I love to cook and I love to bake and I love presentation of food. My sister and I both were very much into food and cooking and prep. And I think serving people, right? Our first date, I served my husband pastaroni and steak with peppers and onions. And that was our first date. I was trying to show him I was a good cook. My cooking's gotten better. So no more pastaroni anymore or hamburger helper. But so I went to this camp and we learned how to make cinnamon rolls and, make the dough and roll the dough out and, put the butter all over and cinnamon and sugar and roll it up, and how to cut it with a piece of thread, nice and perfectly and all that, bake them and make the little glaze. But I don't do that because I would literally eat them all, right? And so sometimes we have to be careful with things. If we don't have a lot of self-control, then we have to know where those weaknesses are. And we either have to make that commitment that we're going to bake something, we're going to wrap it up and give it away. But if baked goods are a weakness for you, then you just can't do it, right? Banana bread. That's a big one for me. When I make a banana bread, because the bananas are all gone, which thankfully everybody's been eating bananas. We go through bananas like crazy in our house. But when I used to make banana bread, I would eat probably 3/4 and leave my husband and my kids each a tiny piece. And now my mom makes the banana breads and she puts everybody's name on them and I don't even get one. So you've got to know what your limitations are. It's the same thing. I try not to keep cookies in the house because I'm a cookie monster and it's tough to control. Cooking, you can do so much great healthy cooking and making swaps and new recipes that are healthier recipes. That's something that I love to provide for my clients, is giving them healthier versions, healthier recipes for old favorites. And you can absolutely do that and experiment and really feed people and feed them healthy. So we should have a chat, Carmela, because I love doing those things too. Erin says she's not sure what's holding her back, but she's asking, am I stuck at this weight? No. You don't have to be stuck. What I would love to do is get you on a call and figure out what's going on. I'm going to ask you a bunch of questions. What are you eating throughout the day? What's a typical day? What is your exercise regime? How do you sleep? Tell me about your stress levels. And I'm going to keep asking questions until I find the red flags across my notepad. Those are going to be the things that we need to tweak, and you will find very quickly that when you tweak the right things, you won't be stuck anymore. You can achieve anything you want, promise, no matter what age, okay? Melissa says she just had surgery, so that can be tough. That can hold us back in some things, certainly in fitness. Doesn't have to hold you back in nutrition, that's for sure. But she's asking, how do I motivate myself to exercise and have a better diet? So I've been through many injuries in my life, and you always have to just know that an injury, a surgery, they are temporary. It's just a phase. It will pass. And then we maybe get a coach and we get a plan and we get something that excites us, right? So if you said to me, all right, Jill, you got to get in shape and the only thing I'm going to give you is a treadmill, I would not feel excited about that because I do not really love treadmills. But if you just gave me a set of dumbbells, I'd be like, yay, like I'd feel so excited to work out every day and figure out brand new workouts and work different parts of my body. I find treadmills boring, right? Unless I have a TV, maybe, I don't know. So you need to do things that are exciting, that excite you. If you said to me, Jill, you're not allowed to have carbs anymore, I'd feel like, oh, that's awful. Like, that's not fun. I wouldn't want to live that way. So that's going to be hard for me to feel motivated to stick to. So we have to find a way to have massive joy in this journey. And so that's what I try to do, is bring joy and make it sustainable and enjoyable and something you want to show up for. So I think that's what we got to do for Melissa. Okay. Let's book a call, even though you're just out of surgery. Okay. Megan says time is holding her back. She's so busy. I know. We're all busy. I don't think any of us are, lacking things to do these days, but I understand how tough it can be. She wants to lose 20 pounds, feel healthier and better about herself. And so her question is, how do I meal prep quickly and within budget? So that's something I think I actually have some information right in our Empowered Fitness community. Let me take a look. I think I used to have a whole guide on meal prep and clean eating. Let me see, guides. Let's take a look. If you have not looked in these guides, I have got some awesome stuff in here. We've got, first one is one that was more relevant for me when my kids were younger. They're getting a little bit out of their pickiness, but it's called Picky Eaters, Stressed Out Moms. That was a group I used to run. Clean Eating 101. We've got a clean shopping list. We've got clean eating on a budget and food prep. That's what you needed right there, right? We also have a great salad guide. We've got my crock pot meals guide. That's good for quick prep too. Make a whole ton of food in a crock pot where you just put it in. You don't have to worry about it. We've got the seafood chopino for the seafood lovers, Mexican chili lime, beef, chicken, pork, whatever protein you want to use, and Thai chicken or pork. Those are my favorite recipes. Let's see, Q&A sessions, Motivation Mondays, fitness audit. We've got my story if you want to get to know me a little bit, the most dramatic 5 experiences of my life. And yeah, so that's what we want to look for there. So let's go back. So what I would say is buy in bulk. Eggs are great protein that are no longer super expensive. Chicken, ground turkey. So when I buy these things, I buy 5 pounds of chicken in a family pack. It's always less expensive. I make it all for the week in one day. I make it in different ways, and then it's there and it's ready. And chicken doesn't take very long to make. I make it on the stove or on the grill. You can marinate it, make it on the grill. Super easy. You can chop it up ahead of time so that during the week you're just grabbing it by the handful. rice and quinoa and beans. Those are all very cheap carbs, but whole foods. Potatoes also, sweet potatoes, white potatoes. And then fruits and vegetables, whether you do, I would do whatever's in season is generally going to be cheaper. And then for vegetables, frozen vegetables are actually really great because they flash freeze them right off the vines or when they pick things. So you're gonna, let's say they pick the peppers and they chop them up and the onions and they chop them up and they put them in a bag and they freeze them immediately. It's gonna actually maintain all of those great nutrients. And if it's pre-chopped, then it's easier to shove in a pan and cook with or steam or whatever you want to do. So I would say frozen, that way you're also not wasting. And usually you can get bags of frozen vegetables for like 99 cents, maybe even less. Depends on where you shop. I do my food shopping at Walmart. It's cheap. I do Walmart delivery. It saves me time. And I think it's all really great quality and I can find everything at one store. So those are my tips on prep. So, and I would say definitely just do everything ahead of time on Sundays or whatever day you have time and make some quick recipes, which is what we have in the Fit and Fast Challenge. Okay, so book a call with me if you need any more help, Megan. Let's see, Rhonda says, I've tried so many different things and none of them work for me. That's not a fun feeling, to feel like you've tried everything and it works for everybody else, but not for you. She says, do I have to give up carbs? So it sounds like Rhonda might be doing a lot of fad diets, right? And following the trends, which generally don't work for the long run. It's like restriction diets and doing weird things that, are not in balance. And so I think that's what happens in a lot of these things, giving up carbs. Number one, that's not fun. Number two, carbs are our body's preferred source of fuel. And they're also the quickest way to get fuel, right, in your system is, other than caffeine, but that's not as healthy, is to eat carbs, healthy carbs, and convert that to energy very quickly. And it also burns quickly. So no, you don't have to give up carbs. I might give up refined sugar, processed carbs that are full of fat. Definitely would give up those because they're probably not in line with your goals, right? I don't think you have to give them up 100%, but you don't want them to be what you're doing, the majority of the time. So eat a donut once a month, not one a day, right? It's going to serve you way better. I do not believe in giving up carbs, and none of my nutrition frameworks promote giving up carbs. If anything, they promote having them steadily or at the particular times of day that will serve you best. Okay. Maida, unless I wrote your name wrong. She says feeling tired is holding her back. And she also is asking, how do I get rid of hot flashes? So she's definitely going through some hormonal changes that are wreaking havoc. And these can be either caused by lack of sleep, you're not getting good sleep, you're not getting quality sleep, or your hormones. What happens when we don't sleep well is our nervous system can get out of whack. Certain hormones can be elevated, like cortisol, and that will always exacerbate any and all of your menopausal symptoms. So the reason why you might be getting hot flashes is this nervous system on fire, which can be from excess stress, which can come from so many different things. Our nutrition being out of alignment, our fitness being out of alignment, meaning you're not getting enough rest and recovery, or you're not getting enough movement. If you have mental stress in your life, if you're not getting proper sleep, proper hydration, proper nutrients, supplementation, all these things. So I would say let's book in a call and go through the list of things, or definitely 100% do the 5-day menopause makeover. It's only $5 and it'll answer so many of these questions. And when you pair that with the 5-day Kickstart Cleanse meal plan, that will 100% start helping you with your energy and the hot flashes. It does, it works. All right, let me see where we are on time. Okay, I don't remember when we started. We'll go for the rest of the questions here. Okay, so let's see. Joanne says motivation and anxiety are holding her back. So motivation, again, comes down to connecting with, do I want to change or do I want to stay the same? Anybody who wants to change is motivated to change, right? What you're lacking is not necessarily motivation. It is having a plan, executing it, getting results, and then feeling more motivation, more excitement. So that's what we need as a plan. Also, if you don't have a plan in life, in any aspect of life, that can also cause anxiety. And so even down to planning your day, right? So I've got all these planners here. I got 2 different kinds of planners here. These are 2 different planners. They both have time blocking on them. And every day, if I don't block out my time and decide what I'm doing when, then my day starts to roll me and my anxiety starts to climb because I don't get the things done and I don't even know what they are. So I have to list those things out, my to-do list, and then I have to put them on my calendar as to when I'm going to do them. And that helps me. Joanne, we might have to figure out what's going on with regards to your anxiety and what you're doing currently for it and what we need to add. She also has a question here. How do you lose weight during menopause? So alignment, remember, like I was saying, so good nutrition plan, good fitness plan, sleeping well, stress management, and possibly either hormone replacement therapy or some supplementation to help you balance out your hormones. Okay, so those things are all going to help you with losing weight during menopause. They're all covered in my 5-day menopause makeover. They are all covered in my menopausal metabolism reboot program. Let's just figure out the best plan of action for you, Joanne. If you want to either start the 5-day menopause makeover with the link I gave you or book a call with me, either way will get you to the right place. Okay, we got a couple more. Trish says lack of motivation. I don't like hearing this anymore, all right? Now you guys know the answer to this. No more lack of motivation. If you haven't taken action and you've been here a while and you're still saying motivation, then you're just not taking action. You're not doing what you have to do, right? So you got to do what you got to do. Why is it so hard to lose weight during menopause? Because you're probably not doing the things that it takes, right? So if you're still doing the same things that you did before the hormonal changes started and you're like, I'm doing all the same things, why isn't it working? It's because it doesn't work the same anymore. Because your body's changing, hormones are changing, you need to change your approach. And that's generally what's happening is people are doing the wrong things, the exact wrong things, and then they're dumbfounded when they're not getting the results that they want or the results that they used to get from what they're doing, that they used to do. And so that's what makes it hard, is when you're not doing the right things. We have to make adjustments. There's certain things that we have to change, and you have to have an openness and a willingness to do that, right? So let's get together. Christine says, I love working out. I'm very motivated to do it. I just seem to have some extra weight that will not budge. She wants to lose weight. She wants to know, how do I get the scale to go lower? So again, we might need to make some tweaks. What you were doing before might not work anymore. I used to teach 10 HIIT classes a week, every single week. That worked in my 30s. Right now, that would probably not work as well. I would be exhausted. I'd probably have to teach a class and then nap the rest of the day. And it just would cause my body to feel very stressed and start packing on the pounds instead of losing them. So we need to work on a new approach and get everything back in alignment. And then you'll see that it's easier when you're in alignment and doing the right things, okay? So that would be a conversation that we want to have together, Christine. And Leslie is our last one. She wants to lose her belly, and she says, how do I lower my high cortisol levels? So that is going to come down to all those 5 things that we cover in the Menopause Makeover. It's going to come down to your stress number 1, right? Then your sleep. If you're not sleeping, your cortisol is going to spike for sure and stay high. Stress too, right? Those 2 things are really big. If you're not eating appropriately for this stage of life, then your cortisol is going to spike because your blood sugar is going to spike. If you are not exercising appropriately, if you're exercising too much, if you're not getting any exercise, your cortisol is going to spike. And the last thing is hormones. If you need if you need to balance your hormones, if they're just completely out of whack and you're really struggling with symptoms and feeling uncomfortable and having really weird things that you never experienced before, then you might need a panel to figure out what's going on. And a doctor or specialist can advise you. But it's good to have your information and to know your stuff. So I would say 5-day menopause makeover. Let's have a chat and let's figure out what you need to be doing to, number one, help yourself. Because if you go straight to a doctor before you actually modify your lifestyle, which is the thing you can control, then whatever they tell you might not even help you if you don't also adjust your lifestyle. It's the same thing with all the weight loss drugs out there. A lot of people say, like, that didn't help me lose weight. It's like, well, did you modify your lifestyle as well to work with it? And if they say, oh, no, nobody told me I had to do that. Well, number one, you might have been able to lose the weight without the drugs if you had modified your lifestyle. Number two, even if you get that, you still have to modify your lifestyle. And, and that can be a big wake-up call for anybody who's trying to take shortcuts, is that there's really no shortcuts. It doesn't actually help you. So hopefully you've learned some stuff today. Let me know you watched, and I will see you on Monday. I can do it on Monday. I'll be in Dallas taking a 7:25 a.m. flight, but I'll be around. I'll be back. All right. I'll see you later. Give a shout. Sign up for something. Take action. Bye.